Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems and welcome back to MX Simulator, where today we're doing a little bit of kind of a different video. It's not a track walk or anything like that. It's literally just me playing the upcoming round 17 of the MotoOption Supercross Championship track, Salt Lake City. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at least if you're watching this on Wednesday, May 4th, we're going to have quite a finale of MotoOption Supercross. MotoOption Supercross, if you've never watched it or realized what that is before, is the peak of all peaks of MX Simulator professional racing in the game. It's been going on for 13 years now at the highest level, and we broadcast the races here every Wednesday night. So yeah, round 17 of the MotoOption Supercross Championship going off tonight, this evening in Salt Lake City. This is the racetrack that they'll be racing. This is something that we don't normally get to do, but the Race Factor Gaming track crew was kind enough to let me kind of show off the track here long before it's actually officially released. So apologies in advance, but you won't be able to actually download this track right away. I'll be able to include a link in the description at 5:30 p.m. Pacific tonight. So anytime after that, you guys will be able to see the track and download it yourself. So you're getting like a track preview and kind of like a championship chaos preview, I guess. That's why I wanted to make this video, because we have all three championships in MotoOption Supercross still live: 250 East, 250 West, and 450 going to the finales. So kind of wanted to make a video where we show off the track and talk about kind of every championship scenario at play here tonight to kind of preview and build up and hype for tonight's race, which is definitely going to be a lot of fun, and we hope to see a lot of you guys there live. Again, you guys can also see the link in the description below for checking out the live broadcast. I'll have it down there. But let's talk about kind of everything that's going on. So first off, the 450 championship is probably going to be the marquee one to talk about. Like I said, 250 East and West is still live. We'll get there in a second. But 450 is a 9-point gap between Braden Carter, the reigning MotoOption Supercross champion, and the 2018 MotoOption Supercross champion, Alexis Leclerc. He is 9 points down of Carter. And there's been some drama in recent weeks about like kind of this whole how it's shook down and everything like that. Like Carter would have a bigger championship lead right now if some things didn't transpire a few weeks back. But just on face value, talking about these two riders, both of them will be going for their second MotoOption Supercross championship. Carter is looking to become the third. They're both looking to become the third different rider to have two or more MotoOption Supercross titles. The only other two riders that have done it before are Brian Haskell, who has 2, and Tyson Fresquez, who has 4. Everybody else after that or in between that or whatever is only a single-time champion of the series. So going to be in some rarefied air for both of them if they can get it done. Leclerc has been climbing up the leaderboards for basically a decade at this point in terms of becoming arguably the greatest MX Simulator racer of all time. But Carter is kind of the fresh face on the block. Won the championship last year, has been very good this year, but has had some ups and downs that has definitely kept Leclerc close. And Carter sits on 346 points. Leclerc sits on 337 points. So that 9-point difference between them. As of right now, the tiebreaker, I believe, still goes to Carter based on more second place finishes. I'd have to do some quick math on that again, but Carter right now has more wins. But if Leclerc wins the finale to try to steal the title away from him, they would even out on wins, both having 5 right now. Carter has 5 and Leclerc has 4. So it's going to be a lot of kind of, wild math to figure out tonight. Carter has been pretty good of late, but has had some rounds where he's finished outside the top 5, which is more or less like he needs to be top 5 to clinch the title tonight. I believe 6th place is like his tipping point. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun championship fight for sure to see those two finally kind of bring this thing all the way down to the wire, square off, and see who comes out on top. Both have have had their ups and downs this year. The thing I was talking about before with the championship drama that has like kind of started up a little bit was Leclerc and sort of pseudo teammate on the Panetta Motorsports team, though he's not really his teammate anymore because he's jumped over to iSpec. I don't know. It's all very confusing how many teams these guys end up jumping. But Leclerc and Payson Johnson both protested Braden Carter for a first turn infraction 2 rounds ago in Foxborough, and that actually stripped Carter of what would have been his tie-breaking 6th victory. Well, at the time 5th, but then he won last week as well, so it would have been his 6th victory. He didn't win last week. His teammate Jacob Hubbard won, so it would have been his 6th victory, and pretty much at that point Leclerc wouldn't have been able to catch up. So yeah, we would be looking at a scenario right now where Carter could come into this finale with, I think it's probably would have been closer to like an 18-point lead in the championship. Instead, it is only a 9-point lead in the championship, so it's much closer. Obviously, some more wiggle room there. And, you know, if anything comes to fruition that we've seen before, there's always the possibility of some team tactics in play. Carter riding for the Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda team. He's got some teammates out there. Like, kind of unfortunately for him, a lot of them are also 250 West or East riders, so there's a good chance that they'll be staying down to race the Showdown tonight. But, you know, I guess in a all is fair and square kind of situation, you don't want to see the teammates come into play. But he will have some teammates out there for sure. Like just last week, Hubbard, his teammate, was able to win the main event for the first time in his career in the 450 class, and there will be others as well. And then as for Leclerc, you know, he's kind of on like a safe moon backed by Panini Motorsports Yamaha program. It's not really like a full... he's on Panini Motorsports, but he's friends with a lot of those guys, and a lot of people do like Leclerc in the community as well. So I feel like I just have to at least say that there's going to be, you know, the possibility of team tactics, because look, we just saw it. Team tactics played a huge part in the Race Director Gaming Outdoor Championship last year, which Tyler Lang won. And for those of you that don't know that full story, just go back and watch the last round from last year. It was kind of chaotic and kind of sucky how it ended up being. But there's definitely the possibility that team tactics do come into play. I hope not, but there's always that possibility. So keep on the lookout tonight for Carter trying to get inside the top 5 pretty much at all costs. Maybe trying to just battle for a win so he doesn't have to even like think about finishing outside the top 5. He just, you know, puts his full focus in trying to win the race. And Leclerc doing everything he can to win and hope that Carter doesn't finish basically inside of that top 5. So it'll be a good championship fight for sure. And one of those two men will walk out tonight as the third person to join the 2-time Supercross champion Pantheon. So that's pretty cool. We're going to finally have a repeat champion the first time since 2017 that would happen in this game. So that's kind of crazy as well. Moving on, though, to the coastal classes, and like a little bit of, I guess, breaking news to discuss before we're even going to drop the gate for this showdown. The 250 East Championship right now, there is a 5-point differential between Bryce Whelan, who just took the championship lead over from Australians Tyron Tomic. And Tomic, it sounds like, may not be able to race tonight all season long. He had kind of told us that it was going to be tough for him to make all the rounds, being that he lives in Australia. You know, it's like right smack in the middle of the day on a Thursday that the racing takes place. And it sounds like perhaps his, you know, real-life job and situation may interfere with the possibility of him racing tonight. He says it's not completely a, you know, a not going to happen thing at the moment. Like, he's pretty sure it won't happen, that he'll be able to race tonight, but very likely, as he says, that he will not be racing tonight, which would essentially crown Bryce Whelan the champion before we even drop the gate, because those are the only two riders still mathematically alive. And Whelan does have the championship lead, so even though Tomic isn't coming, it wouldn't be a situation where we have to at least make sure Whelan makes the main event to see if the, you know, tides shift or whatever. If Tomic doesn't make the main event, Whelan is the champ. So that's kind of the situation for 250 East. We have to see if Tomic shows up or not, and whether or not Bryce Whelan will be crowned champion early. 250 West, though, a little bit more chaotic. The closest championship that we have going into tonight, 450 class, is 9 points. 250 East is 5 points. 250 West is 4 points between championship leader Luke Magnetti and second place man Casey Cochran. But also there is a third player involved here. Seth Shirley is 19 points back of Luke Magnetti, so he is still mathematically alive for the championship. Of course, there is you know, going to have to be a lot of things that fall in his favor. He's 15 points behind Cochran, so he has to outscore Cochran by 15 points if he also outscores Magnetti by 19. And on top of that, Shirley has not won a main event in his career yet, as well as this season. So, you know, Shirley really has to have a lot go right for him tonight to win the title, but it's not impossible, so he's still mathematically in it. I do think that, you know, we most likely see that it comes down to Cochran versus Magnetti, which has been, you know, kind of the developing story, I think, in the second half of the season so far. As we went into the break for the West Championship, Cochran was, I don't want to say in control, but to that point had been kind of the most consistent guy. Won at Glendale, but he still has yet to win like a full main event this year. The Glendale race was a Triple Crown, and Cochran has not been able to strike through for a full 15+1 main event, which of course the East-West Showdown will be. So on that side of things, you would say that Cochran is probably coming in a little bit behind the 8 ball there, because he has not proven that he can win races at full distance, and he's also 4 points down the championship to a guy that has caught fire in the second half of this season, which Magnetti has. He's definitely gone on a bit of a tear. He's been winning a lot of races since we've come back from the break, and definitely has put the pressure on Cochran to the point where now he has taken over the championship lead. It was the exact same situation in the East as it was for the West at Foxborough, where Whelan stole the championship lead away from Tomic after he'd been clawing it back for many rounds, and finally got the championship lead away from him with 1 round to go, essentially. And then the same thing happened at Denver, where Magnetti had been clawing the situation back towards him away from Cochran. Cochran did not have a very good Denver, and Magnetti had a great Denver. So on the flip side of that, Magnetti takes over the championship lead with 1 round to go. Whelan takes over the championship lead with 1 round to go. So we've had these shifts in these last couple of weeks in both championships, and now we get to drop the gate and really see, is the fire that he's had in Magnetti's case been, stewing and brewing all this time, and it's going to carry into this showdown, or is he going to run into some problems? Of course, that's the huge kind of marker about this race, is that it is an East-West Showdown. We've already had one in Atlanta this year, but we're going to have another one here tonight, and putting everybody together, all the fast dudes, many of which have won races this year. We've seen a lot of race winners in both the West and East divisions this year. So, there's going to be chaos for sure. I don't think it's going to be cut and dry that, Magnetti, Cochran, really anybody that's lining up tonight is a clear favorite if they're going to walk away with the title. So it should be fun to watch. I just hope that, like I said, for the 450 class, for the sake of everything involved, that we don't see really any team tactics. But the kind of fortunate thing about the Magnetti Cochran situation, at least, is they are teammates on the Adept Creative Co. Yamaha team. So because they are teammates, I don't think you're going to necessarily see any team favoritism among the other teammates that they have on the track, because they do, as well have some teammates that will line up in the East-West Showdown. I'm sure they should all be fine to make the main event. They're all pretty fast. There's a lot of the Adept Creative Co. Yamaha riders that have been in mains on both coasts this year, so I'd have to imagine they all make it in. And then, kind of on the flip side, if Tomic does make it in for the East race, Whelan maybe has a little bit of the upper hand in terms of teammates, because there's just a few more Filski and Snowboard Honda riders on the track than there are the Connect Visual KTM riders. Again, I don't personally believe we're going to see team tactics involved here tonight, but, just to kind of weigh the odds of it a little bit, Whelan does have a little bit more teammate help, and in the West side of things, they are just on the same team. Shirley is not on the same team. Shirley, I believe, is still on the Boots House Yamaha team. He started with atom.com and then moved over to Boots House, and he did 1 race on a different team, but I think it was just kind of for fun. So Boots House for Shirley. They, again, don't really have a whole lot of teammate help there either. He does have some teammates that could make the main event for sure, but I think that the star power more lies with the Adept Creative Co. Yamaha team. So, I think Shirley's going to need a lot of pretty much just crashing and either not making the main event or having a terrible main event out of Magnetti and Cochran for him to sneak up and win this championship. But either way, this is going to be one heck of a fun night of racing. Coverage for us here on Start Your Systems begins at 6:15 p.m. Pacific. Like I said, there is already a live link page ready and set up for you guys to be able to click on, so you guys can hang out before the racing action starts. We start off with 6:15 with some, little pre-race stuff showing off the racetrack for the night. You guys are already seeing it right now, but we'll also do a little virtual lap, some opening ceremonies and stuff to get you guys hyped. And then we drop the gates usually around 6:30 p.m. Pacific. That's 9:30 p.m. Eastern, to finally put a close on this 2022 MotoOption Supercross Championship, which is going to be a lot of fun. Crazy, crazy season. 3 championships still to decide. It is not over yet in any single one of them. And I can't wait to bring you guys the action here tonight. Again, this is the Salt Lake City track that these guys will be racing on tonight. Pretty unique track. If you guys saw at the start, it's going to kind of go into a first turn complex and then jump over the backside of a berm to jump into kind of the first rhythm section. So that's always kind of interesting, because I feel like it maybe causes a little bit more crashing, just having guys so close together out of that first turn and kind of jumping over something that they don't hit every single lap. And then, the rest of the track is kind of standard. It's got some, unique aspects to it. It's got the sand corner. Most of the rhythm lanes are pretty standard. You got a triple quad that's possible for the Supercross triple quad right there that I just did out of that corner. And obviously another key talking point will probably be the whoops, because they're coming in out of a little bit less than a 90-degree corner. So you might see some guys, cut to the inside to try to get a good drive from the inside, but also more guys going to the outside to try to get a straight drive into the whoops. So fun racetrack, going to be pretty interesting to see how it shakes down, and always fun to have a whoop section before the finish line jump, because I feel like it causes a little bit more fireworks than usual. So that is the backstory. That is everything to get you guys ready and set up for tonight's racing action for round 17 of MotoOption Supercross from Salt Lake City. We hope to see you guys soon and catch this crazy action to close out the 2022 season. All right, guys, I'm going to send you on your way. Hopefully you have a lovely day wherever you are, and we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.